Hello everyone, LRon here with part 28 of my total Terraria world Annihilation. So in case you're wondering why I was so interested in getting diamonds after basically Sony was still in charge at the time, destroyed my characters. Um, they also implemented at some point a alternative that would make it so I didn't have to buy AA packages to fix the character. I could instead consume a chrono. Now, chrono is an interesting item. Basically, someone buys a chrono with real money from Sony, or I guess Daybreak Games now, but at the time Sony, for slightly more than the cost of 1 month of premium subscription. And this chrono is a physical item that actually exists inside EverQuest itself, and it's fully tradable. And then whoever eats it, eating it being kind of a liberal term, basically whoever activates it is probably the more accurate term, will get 1 month of premium subscription for free. Of course, free is kind of a misnomer since someone else has already bought it with real money, but to the consumer of the chrono, it is probably free because no one is dumb enough to buy a chrono to consume themselves because it's cheaper to get the subscription outright. But at some point, I forget if this was before or after the heroic characters debacle, but at some point they decided it was a good idea to make it so that someone with premium membership active, so someone who's got time in subscription mode, can basically click a button that will make all the AAs that they qualify for at their level up to like 1 expansion before the expansion they own up to be given to them for free. So what this does is it means that if you consume a chrono, you can check that box and then basically be absolved of the sins of Sony's heroic character system, where they give you pack rat and innate metabolism and all kinds of bullshit AAs that shouldn't ever existed. And because basically they got to choose which 2000 AAs they give you when you activate a character as heroic. So instead of you choosing the smart stuff, they chose a bunch of dumb stuff. And so that's ultimately why I quit. But then eventually I decided that it would make sense to kind of just AFK myself a platform, which is where Night Stalkers came into play with the auto loot system. And when I stopped playing Chrono on my server was about 500,000 plat, which would take probably 6 or 7 months of constant AFK farming to get in diamonds and other trivial loots that the Night Stalker had. Actually, it may have been less than 6 or 7 months. I was trying to think it's less now. It might have been 3 or 4. So I want to say that I praised getting, like, the most important 4 characters. Oh, wait. Maybe it was 6 months. Okay, it depends on how many people I was expecting to fix. If I was planning to fix, like, if I was planning to fix 4, it was probably 6 months each. And if I was planning to fix 8 or 9, then it would be like 3 or 4 months each. Right? So I remember, however many I was planning to do, it was going to be a 2-year plan to do it, and then everything after that was going to be gravy. Or at least getting that far AFK was going to make it easy enough to get money legitimately, and also make the game bearable enough to actually play. The problem is, at this point, there is no personal advancement anymore. You know, I could get a couple levels and, you know, maybe some slightly better gear. But they gave me extremely good gear when they bumped me to heroic. So that seems very doubtful. So, you know, unless I had a bunch of chronos laying around, there really is no point in playing EverQuest anymore, because they completely ruined my characters. And chronos would at least fix them to the point where they're playable. I guess that was kind of a long tangent, but so the previous laptop can run one EverQuest that's gonna be laggy to death, take 10 minutes to zone, from zone to zone, and be a royal nightmare to move around, because it's probably 1 frame per minute. But this present laptop, on the other hand, can run 4 with minor signs of loss in performance. Like, enough to be noteworthy, but not enough to necessarily complain as being unbearable. Probably running 7, which is more than an entire group, would be on par with how 1 was on the Toshiba. That's just depressing. I think I've kind of noticed a pattern with all of this. It seems like RAM is the key to the number of EverQuests that you can play. It doesn't matter how lame your processor is. You gotta remember the game originally came out in 1999, so not much going on there. It's just the RAM necessary to have the application be able to handle displaying all of the multitude of assets and whatnot in real time. That about does it for this video. I will see you next video.